I catch 160 on the jugs every day after practice, and the team itself is awesome. The organization's incredible. Coaching staff does a really good job of putting people in position to be successful. I'm happy to be here and to have the expectation of winning and the goals of playing into February, and I haven't really been around that.
I don't understand teams. If I know somebody is in my future, if you're going to be on my team for a long time, the sooner I sign you, the less expensive it is for my team.
Yeah, howdy and who day. Happy to have my Cincinnati Bengals nation with us today. We got a beautiful video for you. I'm pretty much just gonna ramble, shoot from the hip on my thoughts on this whole Ja'Marr Chase, give my angle, give my thoughts, and then I want to go straight into wide receiver 3, give you just a clear estimation on where my thoughts are with that position, who it should be and why it should be said player. And then lastly, I just want to go into the 53-man rosters that I've been seeing projected for the Cincinnati Bengals. And so there are some cuts that I'm like, dang it, but there are a lot of legitimate guys that we look to be adding on to the team that I'd be happy for. So first things first, the whole thing with Ja'Marr Chase, I think it's being completely overblown. I think media just loves when any player of any stature, of any magnitude, has any type of illumination of holding out, right? And so what they do, unfortunately, is they want to paint the narrative into good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. We already know Zach Taylor. We already know Mike Brown, how he operates. We already know everything about how Duke Tobin, when he gets his guys, he wants his guys to stay long term. We usually like to have our guys stay as long as possible, but when it comes to monies, it's very, very hard to do that consistently. Now, Ja'Marr's not going to practice. And why would we even force him to? And something that TJ has said in that interview that I really, really like, it is the whole idea of like, dude, guys, we're going to have to pay him. Why are we waiting? And this is, I'm going to say this from the organization first. Like, I'm going to make the organization the quote unquote bad guy. There is no good guy, bad guy, but why haven't we paid him yet? Just give him his money. The longer we wait, I understand maybe he, maybe his agent. And also this is another thing. It's not Ja'Marr. It's not Ja'Marr. Okay, I hate when they do this. It is who is ever representing Ja'Marr is the reason why he is not practicing with the Cincinnati Bengals. I am willing to bet from all the interviews, interactions, and the just statements about Ja'Marr Chase, he hates that he's sitting out. He does not like it. Maybe hates a little bit of a strong word because he gets to relax. He understands contract years coming up. He doesn't want to get hurt on air. So when they're just doing 7-on-7 and things like that, he doesn't want to get hurt. And so I get it from his point of view, but the agency that is representing him, they are saying, no, look, hey, he's done this for you. He's got Rookie of the Year. You need him this much. We have speculation that, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb for the Dallas Cowboys, he's going to get this. So Ja'Marr needs to top him in this regard. And so that's what it usually is. It's behind the scenes thing, but the media knows. And I see athletes talk about it as if it's the organization that is really just crapping on the player, or it's the player that's kind of just wants to leave. That's the same thing that happened with T. Higgins. Clearly, we just have too much talent. We're not going to be able to pay everybody. And I just think it's disgusting. And it kind of makes me just sit and think of all the times where I had a negative thought or a negative narrative on a particular player because he's sitting out, when all in all, he was just listening to his agent. He wasn't trying to be a nuisance. He wasn't trying to be a bad guy. One thing Ja'Marr does that I really, really like is that he's at practice. He's there. He's standing. And Zach Taylor calls it, he's not holding out. It's a hold in. And I pretty much just, I calculate everything up to, I don't think the deal's going to get done this year. It will get done next offseason. But I do think Ja'Marr is going to probably wait until preseason to really start ramping things up, because it's like, we know how good he is. Ja'Marr doesn't need to practice at wide receiver to get better. He needs to stay loose. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to make sure every soft tissue this, soft tissue that, is strong and it's ready. And I do know that one good indicator to get that really strong is to be out there, getting hit, getting your body used to that collision a little bit more. But end all be all, his team is saying, hey, we're not going to get this kid hurt during training camp because we got a paycheck that we need to cash in on. And I like that the Bengals are just like, hey, can he come to practice? Can he help out, be a ball boy, be an assistant to these other guys, because there's other players that need him in the building. I believe wholeheartedly Jermaine Burton needs to see Jamar Chase in the building every day as a leader. Jermaine Burton, and we'll just transition into the wide receiver 3 role. Jermaine Burton, I can tell, I've been analyzing, he is a guy that needs a big brother. He needs a big brother. You hear him talk about how he's been training with TJ Houshmandzadeh. You see how he has this adulation for Ocho Cinco, and then you see how happy he was when a particular interview when he got to meet, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and his words were like, I didn't know that pros would see me as a rookie and respect me as much as they have. And so just how open he is, he very much needs that big brother role. And so I'm happy that Jamar is there with Jermaine. Now, wide receiver 3. I've been seeing a lot, and I hope we can all just discuss this, and I'll be in the comment section waiting for all you guys, but I've been seeing a lot of Andre Yoshivas in that slot role. And, Zach, he pretty much said, TB has been our guy for the past 8-9 years, to where it's like, this is a whole new, dare I say, decade of a wide receiver slot role that they can really tamper with. Like, they can really, every defensive coordinator the next week, the next year, the next season, they'd be like, okay, 83, he does this, 83, he does that, he likes to move this way, this is what 83 does. But now they have to figure out what our next secret weapon's going to be, what our next guy's going to be now. From what I've been seeing, I do think T.I., so Trenton Irwin, he's been getting a lot of snaps. We know what his limitations are, although when he gets into the game, he makes electrifying catches. He is a guy that I really, really trust. I really, really like. There is a lot of type of slower slot dudes that do the things right, but what separates Trenton Irwin is that he can make really tough catches. And so I like that. T.I.'s been getting a few bids. Jermaine Burton, we all know what he can do. All gas, no brakes. I think he's going to be a spark plug type of slot dude. I think he's going to be there for if we have any type of shot plays that we want to take, any type of trick play, any type of thing where we need a lot of speed. He's probably going to be the guy. I think he'll be good in end arounds. I've been seeing a lot of stuff with him. Dan Pitcher saying he has incredible ball skills, and I've been seeing the catches he's been making, and it seems fairly easy. One-handers, guy in your face, pause, and so many other types of ways to catch the ball, and they're really doing it. So I really, really like how he's going about his business. And then going in to Charlie Jones, I really thought he had this spot set up for him perfectly, beautifully. This time last year, I was like, okay, Charlie, we get him in. Oh, wow, he's good at this, he's good at that. Let's see him. And I know he returned a kick for a touch or a punt for a touchdown last year. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is the future. Charlie Jones, he's our slot. It doesn't seem like he's having the most impactful camp from everything that I've been reading, everything that I've been seeing. He hasn't really separated himself. And I truly believed that it was his job to necessarily lose. I kind of think he was given the keys, from what I was seeing it from my picture, my way is that Andre Yoshivas is, supposedly supposed to be the future Z when T leaves, is how I was kind of formulating things in my mind last year. And then Charlie Jones just beautifully steps into that slot role, and then we got our guys. It looks like Andre Yoshivas being a bigger slot, this isn't crazy. This isn't insane. And Andre being a 6'3" giant, very athletic, I'm reading it right now. He was born in Japan, and I'm just learning. I did not know he was born in Japan. Princeton kid. And one thing Zach Taylor said that really, hit a button for me was, yes, he went to Princeton. And the simple fact that he went to Princeton as a wide receiver, got drafted in the 6th round by an NFL organization. He's made the leaps and the impacts that he has made. He's just so raw that we literally do not know what this individual could become. We already know he's caught up brain-wise in the form of which he gets understand. He's going to understand every single concept. Mentally, he will not be challenged. But then physically, we see it all as well. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He's fast. He can catch whatever he wants. How is this not a perfect prototype for a legitimate star in the NFL? And so from everything that I've been seeing now, I'm gonna hit you guys with a wild card right now, and this is gonna happen. I think this is what we actually should do. We're not gonna get into the 53-man roster. We'll do that in another episode because I'm loving where my brain's going right now. I think, right, just in 2024, maybe we change things later on. I think the starting unit should be at the Z, T. Higgins, right? Big, strong, fast, not fast, but strong, high catch point. He's able to contort his body to make some tough catches. We like T. We know T. Tight end, of course, Mike Gesicki, even though Eric All, who I went to on our next video, really deep dive into what his progression's like. He just got off the PUP list, so Eric All, a rookie tight end out of Iowa. Hope he can, learn a lot from Gesicki. But then we have Andre Yoshivas at the X position, and then putting Jamar in the slot. Now, the reason why, of course, that wouldn't work is because Jamar is about to get X wide receiver money, not slot wide receiver money. And yes, there is a difference. And so I just think that would be sick, though. You remember Jake Browning and Jamar Chase linking up the way that they did when they put Jamar in the slot, and he was just able to, he could do whatever he wanted in the slot. He was virtually unguardable in the slot. And I think he was just super effective to where if Yoshivas can be an outside dude, and of course we already know what T can do, and then literally Jamar Chase can just blender up and break and annihilate and embarrass everything in the middle, and that's close to Joe. That's closest to Joe's eyes. And we got Mike Gesicki on the other side. I think that's what I like not most, but I really like that, and I really hope, because Jamar looked great in the slot last year. I just really hope we don't completely run away from that now that everyone's healthy, which is why we had to do what we had to do. We had to put Jamar in the slot so he can get his, in a sense. But, in 2023, Yoshivas had 15 receptions, 116 yards, not a lot, but he gave us 4 touchdowns. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. You guys let me know in the comments where everything is at, where your brain is at with this wide receiver group, where you're at with Jamar and this whole contract situation. I really hope this doesn't turn into something way, way worse. I don't think it will be, but that's what the media is trying to act like it's going to be. I'm ready to hear back from all of you. And the next episode, we're going to go game by game on the projections on what I believe the Cincinnati Bengals will be. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.